We have a fantastic session coming up right now with a really brilliant speaker, a brilliant communicator, and I suspect some of you may have seen him before at this very stage, and his sessions are always worthwhile. They're fascinating, full of great takeaways. And our next session is called Storyselling. It asks the question, how do you sell the future? How do you make a client see something they can't see and feel something they don't feel? Through the primary way all humans see the world, storytelling. So my dear friends, I would like a very warm, very loud welcome to our amazing rock star speaker. He is international business speaker and coach at David J.P. Phillips. Please give it up for Alexander Grabner. Jarlung, thank you. Yes, dude. Good to see you again, as always, my friend.
I just changed my mind. I thought when I walked up on the stage that, hey, let's do another 15-minute keynote TEDx style. That would be valuable, right? But then I changed my mind walking up here and saying, nah, let's not do that. Instead, let's turn this into a workshop. Because I want to give you guys something that will give you an advantage in every single meeting that you will have, every single time you talk to another human being, and also that will put you in an advantage when you are having a little mingle, maybe upstairs tonight. Does that sound okay with everyone? Yeah, okay, great. So 5 people, again, you're warming up. I want you to fully understand that what I'm about to give you for the next 14 minutes and 15 seconds will literally, honestly, change the outcome of the rest of your life. I think I even said that the last time, but this time I mean it, for real. But before we go into the conjunction of how to implement stories in your everyday life, let me just go through this real quick. This is you. These are the driving force in you, your instincts, fear, food, reproduction. Right now, you're just sitting, okay, maybe I feel fear for this. Maybe I am hungry, or I just want to reproduce myself with somebody in my near vicinity. Well, we're not going to do that, though. The second part of your brain is this part. It's like, all the emotions. Some of you are right now feeling glad that you're here. Some of you are feeling, is this a waste of time? And some of you are probably just going, this is going to be exciting. Hercules. These two are the driving forces in your life, instincts and emotions. And still, to this day, 2023, we are focusing on implementing this in every single meeting and every single time we have the opportunity. And that is to implement logic. How many of you think that the logic is a big part of your life when it comes to decision making? Good. You're wrong. I'm right. There are no studies in the world that shows that you ever base your decisions based on logic. They're based on instincts and emotions that you get. That's why I'm going to implement, so you understand fully, that microstories can be implemented everywhere, anytime. And you're going to build that together with me today. But this is you. I want you to really get into what I'm about to tell you. Because a lot of you think that a story is something where you have to sit in a cabin in the Alps by the open wooden fireplace, talk and speak with some form of Oprah Winfrey or Morgan Freeman type of voice. But that is not true. Because this is the truth about storytelling. A story, the true definition is this: an object in motion. That is the true definition of what a story is. An object in motion. Let's everybody say this so we can really just imprint this into our memory bank. A story is an object in motion. Okay, again. A story is an object in... Oh, beautiful. So let me introduce this. This is called the story wheel. This is something that you're going to go through for the next 11 minutes and 21 seconds and fully understand that it's 4 parameters. If you use these 4 in every time you meet another person, people will start following you more. They will start liking you more. They will look at you going, aha, you are a storyteller. And that's something we all want, right? Because we want to have people saying yes to our things. We want to have people saying yes to our ideas and the products that we are selling, pitching, whatever we're doing. So the first thing that you need in a story wheel, what is that? It's dopamine. And now you're going, but Alex, what is it? What's dopamine? Well, honestly, dopamine is the anticipation of reward. Every time you tell somebody something, this is what people want, but we don't deliver to them. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, I want you guys to think about an object because we're going to practice this. We're going to exercise this. So just pick a random object and put that object into motion. Because the object can be yourself, it can be an item, like me, just pulling out this water bottle from my pocket. This is a water bottle, and all you can see that, right? Correct? Now, that was in motion. That wouldn't be too fun to tell somebody else, right? So I was holding a water bottle, and I dropped it. It's an object in motion. That's why we have to create the anticipation of reward. We have to create something that triggers people going, oh, what happened then? And then, and then. And it keeps on going and going and going. And you can nag on for 15 minutes, an hour, even 3 hours if you want to, just creating that anticipation of reward. So now what I want you guys to do is to pair up 2 and 2. Pair up 2 and 2. Move your body and sit next to someone if you are alone. And nobody's moving. I love this. Great. We're getting there. Anyway, now I want you to tell that person what object that you are moving right now. But I want you to implement the anticipation. So then you say, Alex, how does that sound? All right, let's take the water bottle. Then that sounds like this. You know what? I walked out on stage, and then something happened I would never imagine would happen. There was a water bottle in my back pocket, and all of a sudden, this is the crazy part of this story, it fell out. You're going, oh yeah, no shit, Sherlock, we saw you, But I still created that anticipation of reward. And you're like, oh, that's nice. I want to hear what happened to the water bottle then. So now, I want you to tell the other person what object that you have put in motion, implementing a little bit of this, the dopamine. All right? So create some suspense, some anticipation. I'm going to give you a roughly 15 seconds each. So it's going to be quick. All right? So go ahead. All right, you can change if you haven't changed yet. Let the other person speak. No, now we're going. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's nice. Cool. Excellent. All right, good. See, you're natural borns at this. We have done this for roughly 250,000 years. But we haven't implemented it in the business area yet. So this is a good stepping stone. So the second thing we now have to have done, now you have implemented dopamine into it. You have created a little suspense, anticipation of your object that is in motion. Then we take back the wheel again. And then we talk about this, the structure that you need to implement every time that you open your mouth and you want to tell a story. The wrongful thing that many people do is that they jump right into the conclusion and the finale, and then people are going, okay, and then what? And nobody wants to listen to that. So here's a 4-step structure. I want you guys to visualize this in your sleep, really try to get this in. First thing we do whenever we tell a story is this, guys. We walk over here, right here. Then we talk about this one. We need to prep people. Prepping someone can sound as simple as this. When I walked up on the stage, the craziest thing happened. Then now you're prepping, going, okay, what's going to happen? That's interesting. That's nice. You're prepping their mood. Then you jump into the second one. You give them the background. as I was walking up on the stage, the craziest thing happened to me. I never thought this would happen, and I've done this for 10 years, being a public speaker. I mean, giving you the background to why this is going to be a different thing. Now, this is what people usually do, and what you're learning is that people implement, and they have to then start developing the story. So I have prepped the mood, I've set the background, now I've developed it. So when I walked up on this stage, the craziest thing happened to me, and I've been a public speaker for 10 years. This is something I never thought would happen. So I walked up on the stage, and all of a sudden, from my back pocket, I did not know what had happened, but the water bottle jumped out of my back pocket. You're going like, oh, okay. And then you come to the finale. And the scary thing was, do you know what that was? Is that there was nobody else on stage, and my pocket was super tight. So it must have been a ghost. Huh? Yeah. I'm getting to you, am I not? So now what you're going to do is that you're going to implement this into your object that is in motion. Yeah, okay. So now, guys, 2 and 2, again, as you did, let's redo this again, but now you set the structure. Prep the mood, set the background, develop the story, and give them a finale. 15 seconds each, go. If you haven't changed, change to let the other person speak as well. All right. Thank you. Very well done. You're understanding now that this is something that you can work for a long time, and then you keep on going and going and going and going and evolving in. But we have to jump into this one. I can guarantee that roughly around 85% of you told the story using one sense, and that was the visual sense. But did you know that we have other senses as well? We have touch, smell, hearing. What's the last one? There we go. What I want you to do now is that I don't want you to tell the story about just using the visualizations. Oh, well, I was walking up on stage, I filled the water bottle, and it may be scary, it was a ghost. I want you to go up and tell a story and implement the other senses, not just the visual ones, but the other ones as well. Saying, as an example, something crazy happened to me when I walked up on stage, and I've been a public speaker for 10 years. I walked up on that stage, and I had a water bottle in my pocket. All of a sudden, I did not know what would happen, but the craziest thing happened, and it was popped out. And I was smelling around the area. There was a foul scent in the air. I could touch and feel that something was touching me from in the backside of my, no, I don't have any hair on my head, but you can pretty much get the picture. But the scary thing was then that due to that I had so tight jeans on, they felt really comfortable. But the scary thing is that the water bottle was not supposed to drop out. Maybe it was a ghost. Maybe that's because the foul smell was there. You see where I'm going with this, right? So you implement the senses into your story. You have the structure, you're creating this anticipation. Soon, you're fulfilled storytellers. So guess what you're going to do right now? So for 15 seconds, you're going to tell the same thing that you told before, an object in motion implementing senses. Go ahead, 15 seconds each. Yeah, if you haven't changed, change. This brings out the final parts that I know will make the total difference, and that is in the story wheel, we have something called delivery. Right now, you've been sitting down. I can see that there's a moderate tone. There's not so many gestures. But the more gestures we implement, the higher trust people get for you, whatever you're saying. So we need to stop sitting down. We need to start being alive. And we want the facial expressions to join the story. So what I'm going to ask you to adventure yourself on now is that everybody's going to stand up. Stand up. Stand up. You're going to do the same exercise again. You're going to tell that story. You're going to put that object in motion. You're going to implement senses. You're going to implement the structure. And now you're going to live in the energy that you want the other person to feel for the object that you're putting in motion. So guys, stand up. Do this exercise 15 seconds each. Let's go. Change if you haven't changed. I'm impressed. Guys, you can keep on standing because I'm about to finish this off. I just want to say these things. You have now become a couple of steps closer to what is the real change in every situation that you end up in. I've given you the solution. It's 4 basic steps that you need to implement every time you speak. Take a photograph of this. Use it. You now have become the master in selling your stories. And I encourage all of you to, when you take the action outside of this door or walking upstairs to the mingle situation tonight, tell a story about yourself and see how you will transform that person and move that person from one area to another. With that said, if you haven't connected with me before, I also urge you to do that. This was not a TED Talk. This was a really simple 15-minute workshop. Thank you.